Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Maeve, and today we're picking up where we left off last week on our collab with Nardvillain. My friend Janard, his YouTube channel is called Nardvillain, and we're doing this thing called the Buy Mode Challenge. So the Buy Mode Challenge is where two people collaborate to create two different builds. And so last week we each picked out the items that the other one was going to use in their build, and this week we're going to be doing the actual speed build that I created using the items that he picked out for me last week. And he's going to be releasing a video today also simultaneously with this one where he's building his home using the items that I picked out for him last week. And so we both chose 100 items for the other person to use, and that person has to use all of those items, no more, no less. And I also want to give acknowledgement to the person who we learned about this collab from, and I mentioned this in my last video, but just in case you didn't see it, you should also go check out Collega, and I'll be linking their build video from when they did this challenge below, but that's where we first heard about this concept from, and I just want to give acknowledgement to them for coming up with this in the first place. And of course, when you're done here, don't forget to go check out Janard, aka Nardvillain. His channel is really great, and you can see what he did with the items that I picked out for him last week, which I'm sure a lot of you are looking forward to as well. So let's get into that speed build. All right, so the first thing that I did was count all the items, and I only counted 98. So I messaged Janard and he was like, well, I guess you get 2 freebies then. But I didn't set out right away on which items I was going to use for my freebies. I wanted to just go ahead and start building. And so the next thing that I did, as you can see, I separated all my items into 3 different categories. So I think one was like bathroom and laundry, and another one was like kitchen and dining area, and then I had a third room that I put all the like bedroom and living room items in. So that made it a little bit easier to figure out what my floor plan was going to be, and then I jumped right into the kitchen and living area, and as you can see, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I was kind of going for one idea with like the fireplace in the middle and an open floor plan that like the fireplace would sort of like break up that space, but I couldn't really get it to work. It looked a little weird to me, and so I ended up kind of like just cramming all of that living area into like a little alcove. So it's still kind of an open floor plan, but I think you could do more with it if you wanted to expand on this build, which it is intended to be a starter home. And with everything that Janard gave me to work with, it was very like eclectic. There were a lot of different items that were very mismatched. They didn't really look like they went together, and so I started kind of coming up with a storyline as I was building where you know, maybe the sim that's going to live in this home actually inherited it from her father, because I noticed a lot of these items were very like utilitarian. We have a lot of like off the grid items, which also made me think maybe this home is older. We have this kind of like antique couch and chair that are very pristine, and also very feminine with these pink colors and that rug that kind of matches it. And so I thought maybe, you know, the father that she's inheriting this house from also inherited the home from his mother. So, you know, maybe this home has been in the family for generations. That would explain all of these sort of like off the grid items, the wooden shower that came with, I think, outdoor retreat, and, you know, this wood burning stove. So all of these things are like the kind of everything that you expect to see in like a really, really old home that's like, you know, maybe 100 or so years old and hasn't been renovated a whole lot. And I almost kind of think maybe this home was like built by someone in the family, which that's something that's very common in my family for people to build their own homes. But anyway, since I was going for that sort of storyline, and because of the way that so many items in here are kind of like shabby or mismatched, I thought this would make a really good fixer-upper. So you've got kind of the modern items that I think maybe were brought in by the current sim, and then you have like these masculine or like these wooden items that look handcrafted that I thought maybe came from her father. And then you have like the feminine antique items that I thought would have come from like the grandmother. So as you can see, one of the freebies that I went for was a bed, and I asked him afterwards if that was one of the items that maybe he included and just didn't generate when I downloaded it for some reason. And he said, no, I had no intention of giving you a real bed. I gave you the Murphy bed. And I was like, oh. So we do have a bed and a Murphy bed, so technically this build could sleep up to 4 people, but the Murphy bed is kind of like tucked away in the office, so that's more of like a guest room sort of situation there. Let's see, oh, what else? It's moving so fast. The other freebie that I went with was a second bar stool, and I asked him about that one too, and he said, yes, I did intend to give you 2 bar stools, but for some reason when I downloaded the room with the 100 items in it, the second bar stool didn't spawn. I don't know why. I did enter the move objects cheat before I placed it, so I really don't know why I didn't get the full 100 items. And I also watched his video last week, and I couldn't spot the items that were missing. I didn't see any items in his video that were not included in this build, so I'm not really sure what happened, but I counted twice and there were definitely 96 the first time and 98 the second time. So I know I was short at least 2 items, and I went ahead and put the bed and the extra bar stool in there. Anyway, so this is the office where I put the Murphy bed, and now I'm about to start working on like the patio area. He put in this yoga mat, and I wonder if he realized it was a yoga mat or if he thought it was just a rug. But I went ahead and put it outside so that, you know, our sim can do yoga outdoors. And yeah, I'm about to fence in this outdoor area pretty soon, I think. And I did kind of have some trouble with the fencing. I don't know, it was glitching or something. The gate for some reason wouldn't match the color of the fence. And then when I was trying to move the gate around, my fence would disappear, but like when I would try to replace it, it would tell me there was already a fence there. It was so confusing and weird, and I was worried that it was going to be messed up. But then I actually exited my game and came back a few hours later, and suddenly the fence matched the gate and there were no more glitches. So I don't know what that was about. This is really weird. But yeah, we're working on this roof. I did have that little diagonal wall that I put in there, and I kind of struggled with making the roof look right on that area, so I decided just to make it just like a covered porch area so that I could just use all right angles for the roofing, and that made it really easy. And also I think it's gonna make it easy to like expand on the home if you want to, because you can just add more angled roof pieces or whatever. So and now we're adding the windows. I put in the windows to match the doors. So all the windows and doors came from Seasons. I always get the ones from Seasons and Pets mixed up, but the ones from Seasons are not as like, they're not as weathered. So I went with the ones from Seasons, and I think it looks kind of nice, you know, considering that I was going for that sort of like handcrafted home sort of feel. And see, here you can see what I'm talking about with the fence and the gate and everything. But we're gonna add the porches, and then I think I got started on the landscaping after that. For the landscaping, I kept it pretty simple. Actually, I kept a lot of this build pretty simple. But with the landscaping, it was just like a lot of bushes, and I added like some grass so that it would look like maybe some overgrowth, so that if you wanted to renovate this home, you would probably want to redo the landscaping as well. And I put in like the dingy wallpaper for the most part, not the bathroom, but everywhere else I put the dingy wallpaper and carpet from City Living. And so again, with the intent for you to renovate it if you wish. And oh yeah, the chimney. So I used more than one chimney. I kind of like stacked them on top of each other so that I could get the height just right. Otherwise it was always either too short or too tall, and it kept interfering with the foundation, so it looked like it was kind of like floating there, which was weird. But yeah, now we're doing some landscaping with the bushes, and I'm gonna add a few flowers here and there and some terrain paint, and I think that's gonna be about it. And we'll be getting into the fly through probably in just a minute or two. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that, and I will catch you on the other side of that fly through before I sign off. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that speed build. I had a lot of fun doing this collab with Jannard, and thanks again to Collega for coming up with the idea for this challenge. I really hope it catches on because it's a lot of fun. I'd love to see other people do this challenge, and I'd love to do this challenge again. Don't forget to check out Jannard's video. I will link that in the description below. I'll also link to Collega's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can click the bell for notifications. But what I'd really love is for you to leave me a comment because I love engaging with y'all in the comments. I have like half a dozen other video ideas that I need to go work on, so I'm gonna head out now, but you will hear from me again in about a week, so I will see you next Monday, and in the meantime I hope that you'll be kind to yourself, be kind to others, always remember to stay hydrated, and I'll see you next time. Bye.